Masala Radio.
You're tuned into Masala Radio, 98.7 FM, 24/7 Bollywood. It's so spicy.
Welcome back, friends. Thanks for tuning into Masala Radio 98.7 FM. You're listening to Fulltoss, the voice of cricket in America. My name is RJ Amit, and with me, Hamid Lakhani in the studio. Joining me live from Dayton, New Jersey, Amarnath. And we do have some guests in the studio of Houston Youth Premier League, Ramji and Raj, and having a very good time talking to them. By the way, I just want to remind our listeners, this is a non-profit organization.
Exactly. Yeah.
Tell us more about it.
Yeah. So I need to mention here that this has been the brainchild of one person called Vinod Nair.
Oh yes,
RJ
I
Amit,
know him very well,
right? So it's the brainchild of Vinod Nair. We have a lot of club cricket that's happening across the country, right? So he wanted to bring in some sort of this franchisee-based concept where we can unite and bring in the best of talent from across the country to play a competitive game of cricket, and create a pathway through this to minor league and then major league and then to other leagues across the country. So we've seen a lot of success in this. And as you rightly pointed out at the start of this segment, unlike the cash-rich leagues across the world, we are a non-profit organization. So we entirely depend on the franchisees as well as our sponsors to be able to give a very good game of cricket to the players. So we actually charge very, very less to the players themselves, unlike many other tournaments. So the players always like to come back again and again and play these kind of tournaments.
That's interesting. And Raj, how about the equipment? Is that something which, how are you guys managing to do that? If some of our listeners listening in, they want to contribute, since it's a non-profit organization, you play with hardball cricket, you need all the gear.
Yeah, so the gear is generally the kids, the players have it, but in terms of, I guess, the biggest expense we have right now is the grounds. So what we're trying to give for the senior edition is the actual turf pitches. So the
natural turf.
Yeah.
Yes.
So last couple of editions we did it at Perryview Cricket Complex, and as we said earlier, this time we are at Musa Stadium. So that's the biggest expense. Then rest of the things, the franchises and the kids, the youth players, they have by themselves. But to give more coverage, to give more facilities, that's where any donation would be helped. And then one of the, earlier we mentioned, we're launching the inaugural junior tournament this year. And this season, I guess we have during March 18 and 19. So
which is coming up, right?
Yeah, right after this
after
one.
spring break, at the end of spring break.
And we don't have any sponsor for that yet. So if anybody would like to.
मुझे बात बताओ आप दोनों, अगर किसी को someone wants to reach either one of you, how can they reach you?
The best way to reach us is send in an email to hyplcricket@gmail.com.
HYPL, Houston Youth Premier League, HYPL
at gmail.com. hyplcricket@gmail.com. Or they can follow us on Facebook. We are always there. They can. We have had many inquiries coming through the messenger of Facebook, and we immediately respond to them. So these are two easy ways to connect to us.
Excellent.
And if somebody wants to call us, my phone number is available. It's 281-743-7062.
Repeat that again for me,
I'll repeat that once again for you. It's 281-743-7062.
Excellent. Gentlemen, stay tuned. Stay with us. We'll talk a little bit more to you. I'll bring you back before the next segment. But moving on to our next segment, something, we talked about how India has crushed both of them. Now, right now, after defeating Australia 2-0, they still need to win
both the games
to be able to qualify.
No, to play the final.
Play the finals
with Australia.
Yeah. Really?
They have to win both the games.
They have to win both the games.
Yeah,
no, we don't have to win both the games. We should not lose both the games.
Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I thought we had to win both the games.
It's basically it's point and percentage it's points and percentage. That's how it is calculated.
Thanks for clarifying that, gentlemen.
Yeah, Amarnath is right. Correct.
The worst case for us is we lose both the games and Sri Lanka beats New Zealand and New Zealand both the games. Then we are out.
Yes.
Under that condition.
Understood.
If you make it 2-0.
Yeah.
If you make it 2-0, I think we are into the final.
Then we are in the final, yeah.
Got it.
Then it's locked in.
I was talking about how the third test has now been moved from Dharamshala. By the way, those of you who have been asking me, texting in the studio why it was moved, that's because they have been renovating the facilities at Dharamshala and the work is still not complete
I'm
yet.
surprised.
One of the other reasons which I also heard about was the ground during winter is completely covered with snow. There.
That's correct. That's one of the
So
reasons
it
why.
doesn't let the grass grow as much. So that also was not favorable for having a test kind of pitch and the ground for this international
Well, listen,
level.
I'm not
But
complaining.
BCCI should be knowing that part.
Yeah,
if it is
before-
covered in snow, BCCI should be knowing that.
I'm not complaining because the match is being played in my home city.
Yeah.
So I,
Why would you
complaints on my
complain,
side.
man?
Indoor.
Why would you
Small
complain?
ground also. So
It's
Small
that's
ground.
what I was just coming to, Raj. It's a smaller ground.
But I need to see 5 days of cricket, man.
This is also, I don't think this will go in 5 days. Not a chance. ये भी 2-2.5 दिन में खत्म हो जाएगा.
Preferably for India.
As long as the ground doesn't get any demerit points for getting wrapping up the match in 3 days, we are fine with that.
Then we are fine with that, yeah.
All right, gentlemen. It is time for me to bring in a segment called the Fulltoss Spotlight. And I do want to give Amarnath a little bit of a time here more.
Yeah, some more time, please.
Some more time, and that's the reason. And this segment is brought to you by Mahesh's Kitchen, located right here in Town Center. Not sure if you guys had a chance to go there. I've been hearing a lot of good things about him.
Place.
And that's Mahesh Kitchen invites. I mean, they go down there right in Town Center, heart of Town Center. You can call them at 281-937-7796 or visit maheshkitchen.com. You want to thank Mahesh Kitchen for sponsoring this segment. Naam is segment ka Fulltoss Spotlight. Every week, Amarnath will talk about a player or an administrator or an umpire. Now, Ramji and Raj, this is not coming from Wikipedia. These are his own accounts.
Wow.
तो ये जो भी बोलते हैं ये दिल से बोलते हैं, ये खुद बोलते हैं, इन्होंने कुछ देखी हुई चीज़ें होती है या पढ़ी होती है, ये इनके खुद के अकाउंट से.
Personal interaction, I would say.
Personal interaction. So before, without making you wait for a long, Amarnath, the mic is all yours.
Please enlighten us.
Thank you very much, Amit. Today's Fulltoss Spotlight is none other than Sourav Ganguly, who has so many names. But I have to quote William Shakespeare. He said, on some are born great, some become great, and on some greatness is thrust upon. Yes. In the case of Ganguly, he does all the three. He was born into a very wealthy family, so he was born great. That's why he was called Maharaj. He was called the Prince of Calcutta. He became great by the sheer strength of his performances. And greatness was thrust upon him when Sachin Tendulkar didn't want to be captain of India, and captaincy was thrust on him in the year 2000 when he took over from Sachin, and when there was the fixing scandal. Things looked really bleak when he took over the captaincy of India, and history was made step by step by step. So let me now start with Ganguly. I remember following him in 1992. He was included into the tour of Australia, didn't play a single test, but played only one ODI. And he had to wait 4 years to get a chance once again. Again, in 1996, that's what? Luck counts so much in cricket. And what you do with the luck is also equally important. 1996, Navjot Singh Sidhu had a fight with Azharuddin and left the tour in England and came back to India. So a spot was opened up in the Lord's Test. Ganguly got the chance and he made full use of it and he scored a brilliant century. A brilliant century on debut. Incidentally, Dravid also scored 95 in that test. So very few could have guessed that at that time a superstar was born. Very few could have guessed. And just to show that it was not a flash in the pan, in the very next third test, Ganguly scored one more century. That was in 1996. And I remember in 1996 September, there was a one-day series in Toronto when India and Pakistan had a set of matches. I drove all the way to Toronto for the first two matches. And I went to the hotel where they were staying. And I was, of course, wearing this kind of a cricket gear, which I'm now currently wearing. And somebody thought I was also a cricketer.
That's true. That's true. I remember this one.
And so somebody came with a bat for me to autograph. I said, no, I'm just coming. And there I saw Ganguly, who had a whole bunch of people around him. So I said, okay, I won't bother him. Because incidentally, Harsha Bhogle was there, and Harsha is a good friend of mine, especially through his brother, Srinivas Bhogle. So I didn't get a chance to say hello to Ganguly, but I knew how popular he was at that time. Roll forward the tape in 2000 when he became captain, and when Steve Waugh was at the height of his, I would say, arrogance. Let me put it that way. He said India was the final frontier, and they had come to mentally disintegrate India. That's what he used to say, disintegration. And he never knew what a tough competitor Sourav Ganguly proved out to be. Who can forget the Calcutta Test and that whole series? The way Ganguly out-Australian, he out-Aussied the Aussies, paid them back in their same coin, in every form and shape. And the sledging was also taken to a new level. And so much so, Shane Warne later on said, we got Aussies, we Aussies respect Sourav Ganguly. We don't have to like him, but we respect him. And that is the highest compliment he got. And I remember that magical Eden Garden Test, on the third day, the brilliant move he made in sending Lakshman one down, that made all the difference. Usually Dravid used to be the one down batsman. He saw Lakshman had played very well in the first innings. Following on, he quickly sent Lakshman one down. And when India was in a bit of a spot, he had a century partnership with VVS Lakshman on the third day, giving hope that there can be a revival. So he was a great player, great captain, and he had many run-ins with Greg Chappell and so many others. I don't want to get into all the details. You all can read. Those are well-known controversies. But the thing to remember, the hallmark of a champion was how he bounced back. Even though he was dropped by Greg Chappell, he fought his way back into the team and did very well. Last but not the least, you have to know when to say goodbye. You don't wait to be dropped. And that's why when he found that he had made his point, scored very well, from 92 to 2008, 16 years he had contributed to the country, he quietly went and told Dhoni, I'm done. So Dhoni did the right thing and said, please captain the team for 2 more overs. And he handed over the ground to him. It was really remarkable. He scored 85 in the first innings, and he got a golden duck in the second innings. I remember that. But we can never forget what Ganguly has contributed to the Indian cricket. In my opinion, he was captain courageous personified. Every moment, he was a prince off the field, prince on the field. Very few people can do that. He developed so many cricketers, one by one. He was brave to take correct decisions at the right time. So on that note, thank you very much, Amit.
Excellent.
For picking this up.
That's too good, too good.
MS is one of the selections by Dada.
All right, let me quickly take a caller on here, Amarnath, before the show gets over. Masala Radio, live on it. Your name and where are you calling from?
Yogesh from LA.
Hi, Yogesh bhai. Go ahead.
Just wanted to let you know that all India has to do is win one of the 2 tests. And even if Sri Lanka win both, they will win. But the tough part will be if Sri Lanka wins both and Australia loses both, then Australia will be out.
Got it.
India and
And
Sri Lanka will be in.
Sri Lanka will be in. Wow. That's going to be exciting.
ये योगेश भाई का तड़का था.
Yogesh bhai ka tadka hai. Very nice. Very well.
Thank you,
Very
Yogesh bhai.
well.
Thank you so
very
much.
well. But that should be something seeing Lords, both the Asian teams.
That is an energy boost for Sri Lankans.
Oh yes, absolutely. It's a very big boost.
All right. Thank you, Yogesh bhai.
I think if India beats them both, I think Sri Lanka will be going all guns to beat New Zealand.
All right.
Incidentally, Amit,
Yes.
Ganguly gave a break to 8 of the 11
Yes.
World Cup winners of 2011.
2011, yes.
I was going to wrap up with that. And thanks for
Absolutely.
bringing that up.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
You can say that.
All right. Thank you, Yogesh bhai.
Thank you.
Great show, guys.
Thanks. All right. It is.
So,
Before we sign off, I do want to thank both Ramji and Raj for coming in today and
Thank you for
telling
having
us
us.
more about your league and bringing us into your world. Absolutely. और ये तुम दोनों को तुम्हारे पूरे लीग को ओपन इनविटेशन है, तुम्हारा शो है, जब भी तुमको आना हो जरूर आओ यहाँ पे, हमको अपडेट दो, हमारे लिसनर्स को अपडेट दो. Next time bring in your players, anybody you want to bring in, you have an open invitation.
Thank you so
Full
much.
toss is behind you guys.
Thank you
Don't
so
worry, have
much.
to worry about it.
Unfortunately, today Vinod could not join this discussion. He got held up with some other prior commitment. He would have loved to be here.
Yes.
So on
I would
behalf
love to
of
have him.
On behalf of Houston Youth Premier League, we thank Masala Radio for having us here in this talk show, Full Toss. And we welcome each one of you, as well as the
100%
listeners of this
Yes,
radio,
100% करना.
to come over to Musa Stadium this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, as well as next weekend, Saturday and Sunday,
Excellent.
to watch the game. This is at Musa Stadium in Pearland.
You got my
Excellent.
attention.
Yeah, exactly.
Got my attention.
Hamid Lakhani, thank you so much
Thank you. It's always a
for
privilege
coming
being
in.
here. Thank you.
Amarnath, thank you for your expertise, your knowledge, your enthusiasm you bring to this table. It makes it absolutely much more interesting.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Friends, stay tuned. Coming up right after the break is Bollywood Blast, the great Indian directors featuring Nazir Hussain. That's coming up right after Full Toss. So stay tuned, folks.